Prop F has also received quite a bit of attention as well. And I do want to bring in John Engel to kind of talk about this and give us exactly what we're looking at with Prop F, which has kind of been seen as the second focus of this election.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. So Prop F, we're talking about the strong mayor proposition. What this deals with is completely changing the structure of government in Austin from what is currently a city manager council format to a strong mayor council format. That means that the chief executive in the city would be an elected person, the mayor, who would then be accountable to the voters. So goes the thinking. And so this was, I think, a big deal for the city of Austin, but did not receive the fanfare that, of course, Proposition B did, because for a number of things. Proposition B is a very emotional topic around how we address those experiencing homelessness in the city, but it's also much easier to communicate, Andrew. I mean, on a yard sign, on a billboard, you see Prop B and you see camping ban, and you get it. It makes sense. Strong mayor can be difficult to understand, and even leading up into this broadcast, we questioned whether this would be one of the propositions or items that someone skips over because they just don't get it. We're going to get into the early voting results here in just a second, Andrew, but I think they're going to tell us that people did not skip over this item. They knew what they were voting for because it was a mixed bag for the other propositions that the group behind Strong Mayor was pushing. Some of the other ones appear to have been successful, and Strong Mayor looks like it's struggling to this point. I know we were going to go in a different order, but do we have the Strong Mayor results?
Yeah, that's what if you wanted to go.
Let's go that direction, Andrew, and just pull those
up. We don't
up.
have the graphic.
Okay.
We're just getting the feed in. So
Yeah.
if you want to write them down, we
Sure.
have Proposition F, 12,443 that's 13%. 81,419 against, 87% estimated. 52% of the vote is currently in.
87% of the early vote is against the strong mayor proposition, a very wide margin. And on that note, I want to go to, I believe we have Nico Ramsey waiting. He is from Austin for All People, the group that formed to fight against the strong mayor proposition. Again, the group that was behind the strong mayor proposition, Austinites for All People, we did also invite them to be part of this broadcast. We invited them last week. They declined to participate in this, but we do want to talk to Nico real quickly. Nico, I want to hear your early reaction to that early vote in Travis County, 86% against the strong mayor proposition. Your thoughts there as we get these first results?
You know, it's still too early, but as for Austin for All People, we're very excited by these results. We fully believe that our current form of government works for Austin, and we believe that we educate the public on just that. So, like you said, 86% still people, if you're in line, continue to vote. But yeah, we're feeling good.
Yeah, and you're hedging your bet a little bit with it's still early. 66,000 votes is a lot in any election, especially a city one where historically we do not see the turnout that we do in other elections. So I completely respect your response there, but that is a wide margin. And to your campaign's credit, you should feel happy about where you are right now, even with so much time to go with Election Day of voting left to count here. Explain to those watching right now at home, I know the story of why you got involved, but why did your organization, Austin for All People, form on just one proposition? You didn't get involved on B, which, as we mentioned, had so much to do with emotions in this city and the camping ban, and you didn't get involved in any of the others. Why just the strong mayor proposal? What galvanized you to form?
Well, it's because with any situation or issue that we have in our city, our form of government is the most important fallback that we have. And ensuring that representation throughout our city, no matter what zip code, ensures that the issues that are so important in our community, we can find solutions, and that we make sure every voice is heard. Another reason is because this issue transcends, if you look at the big coalition, I know that we've talked about this before, but the big coalition of not just a Democrat issue or Republican issue, but you have people working together on all fronts, from labor to business, that really you would never see working otherwise. So this is so important to whatever issue is going to be on ballots in the future, or what we want to achieve as a community. Our form of government and the way that we can execute it and really find the solutions reside in our form of government that we have. And again, 10-1, what we have right now, we believe works for us and all of Austin.
And as I mentioned, the other side, Austinites for Progressive Reform, is not here to talk to us about this right now. So I do kind of want to play devil's advocate, and we've done this before. I've interviewed you before. We did the town hall a couple of weeks ago. But the argument for Proposition F is that the individual who is the chief executive of the city should be directly accountable to voters, should have that connection to voters that the city manager does not currently have. And we're frequently talking about the transition that Austin is in as one of the largest cities in America. We know that if the strong mayor proposition was approved, that would be 13 of 20 largest cities in the country that use the strong mayor format. We know that the top 6 are strong mayor structured. Why is it not the right time for Austin in its progression into one of these major metros of our country to move in this direction as so many others have?
Well, to put it bluntly, we're Austin. We're not other cities. The reason why we have seen great success, and while no form of government is perfect, the city of Austin has seen great success as far as not businesses, businesses coming here, but they're expanding here. We're consistently on the top of lists of best places to live. And that's not by mistake, right? We have an administrative professional who knows how to run a city in the form of a city manager that also is a hire by the council who we elect. So the people we elect to represent our districts, we elect them to make decisions on our behalf, right? So, to try and compare us to other cities, well, we are unique and we are successful because we don't compare ourselves to other cities. So why would we change a form of government when we know this works for us?
Nico, I appreciate you for joining our broadcast this evening as we're making our way through the results. As you said, it is early. We are just working off of the early voting numbers, but the against crowd for Proposition F does have a 66,000 vote lead over 4. We're looking ahead to some of the other propositions, and I know that Austin for All People did not get involved in the other propositions. It would have gotten even trickier if some of the others did pass with the addition of another council seat. We could have maybe gotten a stalemate on the council and some gridlock there. Were you keeping an eye on those things? I know that wasn't what you were weighing in on, but were you at all concerned about the proposition to add another seat in the event that this strong mayor did fail and there could be some challenges for the council?
At the end of the day, the answer is no. But because we knew that this was the most important of their set of propositions that they were putting forward, we can find solutions on how to make other parts of this work in the forms of the other amendments that they put forward. But the one crucial one, and debatably the one that was put there, should our form of government had changed, it would have been a lot harder to get things done in the city. So while we weren't paying attention to it, we knew that we could at least work with the other amendments.
Awesome. Nico Ramsey with Austin for All People, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know we'll be talking to you a little bit more as the evening goes on, but the early voting numbers are just in. 86% against Proposition F, the strong mayor proposal, 13% for. Nico Ramsey, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we've got more numbers coming in, but I just wanted to give you the chance to put that into perspective.
Yeah, please do. And Nico, as I said, is hedging his bets a little bit, but I'm sure he's pleased to see the early return on the early voting numbers with the 86%. I wasn't expecting the margin to be that great, candidly, Andrew. I figured that this was going to be one of those propositions that is difficult for a voter to understand, even though, and the caveat on all this, I know that the Austin voter is very engaged. They are very involved in the process. They're very educated and intelligent, unlike a lot of places that I have worked and covered. But this one has so much nuance, and changing a city government, there's a lot that goes into that. And I figured that maybe it would be grouped in some of those other propositions that are difficult to understand and maybe you skip over. But this margin, even for just the early voting numbers, does stand out. A 66,000 vote differential, can't be overlooked. It's a big deal.
I wanted to point everyone to, obviously, our website, kxan.com. We have up-to-the-minute numbers coming in. You can even see, we just passed by, but 7-11 was the last time these numbers were updated. We're getting them in as quickly as we can, but there's plenty of other opportunities to find out exactly what's going on in Central Texas tonight as we go through this election night. So hit up this live blog if you have any questions, or give us a shout to answer those questions as well. Just looking at some of these other numbers that are coming in, let's see here. We went through Prop B again. That just to update again, that's 64% for Prop B, 34,720. That's 36% against. Looking at that, sometimes I think even the wording of Prop B, people weren't even sure, okay, am I voting for something? What am I voting for? What am I voting against? It kind of explain what those numbers and the early voting means in Prop B.
Well, and I can see why someone may think that, but that goes back to what we talked about with Kevin and Matt McCoyak and the Save Austin Now PAC. They were very organized and they were very deliberate in their campaign to reinstate the camping ban. There's no two ways about it. They got in early. They were very clear in their messaging that this was solely about the camping ban and solely about public camping of those experiencing homelessness. I don't think there were a lot of questions about what their mission is, and you can disagree with the motives and the outcome and where we're going as a city, but that side was very organized early on. We often thought about the opposition, what Homes Not Handcuffs, and how they were approaching this. The money was with Save Austin Now. They had the money for the billboards. They had the money for the media outreach and for the yard signs. It's hard to have not come in contact in one way or another with this campaign over the last year. They've been very involved. And with the strong mayor, I mean, we were just going through it. There have been two very clear groups for and against the strong mayor proposition, but it pales in comparison to what we saw from Proposition B. And you're looking at the numbers right now. Again, just an incredible margin. The latest number on Proposition F, the strong mayor proposal, 87% against. So that's including some of the election day numbers as well, I believe, Andrew, because that's an update from the early voting numbers that we saw. 12,000 people for the strong mayor proposal. Pretty amazing to see early on such a big differential. Again, I'll say it again because I really thought that this could be overlooked because it has so much nuance and so many challenges to understand. People knew what they were voting for with Proposition F. It's clear with a total like this. This was not a skip over proposition. People knew why they were turning out. I think B, the camping ban, got a lot of people to the polls, and they also clearly felt passionately about Proposition F as well.
And we've got new numbers with Hays County, those numbers included as well for Proposition F. No real change to the numbers. It's still holding steady, 87%, 13% for Prop F. Let's go back to, with that, what happens now with Proposition F if the numbers stay as they are right now?
Well, if they stay the way they are, nothing changes. Yep. We were looking at a lot of the contingency plans. Frankly, I wrote a whole story for 9 and 10 o'clock about what's next for Proposition F because you kicked the city manager out. Well, it appears early on that you didn't, so nothing happens. Spencer Cronk keeps his job, and we had looked at the alternative scenario that was after the November 2022 election, then that mayor would have become the chief executive in 2023, would not have impacted current Austin Mayor Steve Adler. But all of those things don't matter now because voters appear to be resoundingly rejecting Proposition F.